Shalom and welcome to this week's Hebrew class, and we have finished Yehuchanan John 12, so now we are going to see how we understood it by going through a revision, and this is the revision part A, and it deals with verses 1 to 17. So let us now begin. And just for anyone who's new or so, I've put up the Nikud, the valve markings, with the useful resources. So let us begin with verse 1. And we see it's represented by an aleph. So we read through it and translate it. The Shet, which means and 6, Yamim, days, Lifnei, before, Chag, which is the feast, Ha-Pesach, of Passover. Ba, came Yahushua leveat, to the house of Hini. So the translation. And 6 days before the feast of the Passover came Yahushua to the house Hini. Of course, we know it's normally translated as Bethany. And then we see here it is, Mekom, the place, El-Azar, of Elazar, translated as Lazarus. Ashir, that, He'ir, which is he woke up, to wake up, Me'im, from with, Ha-Metim, the dead. The place of Elazar that he woke up from with the dead. And then we have Aveat, which has a value of 2. So in verse 2, Vaya'asu lo, and they made him, Sham, there, Mishteh, meaning a feast, and it's got the word for drinking, so it's like a drinking feast, Ba'arev, in the evening, Umarta, and Martha, Mesharetet, was serving. And the translation. And they made for him there a feast in the evening, and Martha was serving. Right, now we move to the next one. And it is the Elazar, and Elazar, Echad, we could say was one, Min, from Ham Subim, from the diners, Ito, with him. And Elazar was one from the diners with him. And then we have Gimel, which has a value of 3. We're in verse 3. Vatikach. Now, because it's got a tav there, it's feminine. So, and she took Miriam, Mirkachat, which can mean a concoction or a mixture. Nerde, of spikenard, spikenard. And then zak meaning pure. Yakar and expensive. Me'od meaning very. Litra, which is a litra, which is actually about 340 grams. achat, one. So 1 litra. And now we have it here. And she took Miriam a concoction of spikenard, pure and expensive, very, a litra 1, which is 340 grams. And then we see here, mishkala, mishkala, which is its weight. And we see in the middle there, it's got the word for shekel, which is literally a weight, and they use it as money, of course. Vatasak. And she rubbed, generally with oil, right? Et grammar marker, ragle, meaning his feet, or the feet. Yahushua, the feet of Yahushua. When we have this ending too, it can mean the feet of Yahushua. Vatanigeva. Vatanigeva, which is, and she wiped. Et, grammar marker, raglav, meaning his feet. And the translation, its weight, and she rubbed with oil, grammar marker, the feet of Yahushua, and she wiped his feet. And now we have Be'sa'aroteha, Be'sa'aroteha, which is with her hair. So the bet can be a with or in, right? And the hay is her. So this is a plural of hairs. Hairs of her, you could say, right? Vaha bayit, and the house Yimale was filled. Re'ach, meaning fragrance, or with the fragrance. Ha-mir kachat, of the perfume, or the word is the same as concoction, of the mixture. With her hair, and the house was filled with the fragrance of the perfume. But actually, in today's terms, it's really a mixture of oils, so you could say it's of the mixture of oils, or concoction. And then we have a dalet, which is a value of 4, and then we have vayomer, and he said, echad, one, mi talmidav, from his disciples, who he was Yahuda. We know that as Judas, right? Ben, son, Shimon, of Shimon. Ish, a man. And he said, one from his disciples, and he was Yehuda, son of Shimon, a man. And then we come to this one, Keriot, meaning of the districts. Now, we normally think his name was Ishkarot, or but actually it means a man of the districts. And then Asher, who Yimsor would hand over Oto him. Of the districts, who would hand over him. So these 3 letters meaning to deliver, to hand over, right? Right, now we come to Hey, which has a value of 5, being the 5th letter of the alphabet. And then we have Madua, which of course means for what reason. All right, for what reason? Lo not nimkera. not was sold. That's what he's saying now. For what reason not was sold? Ha-mir kachat, the concoction, the ointment, bish losh, with or for 3. So of course the bet can mean in, right? In 3 or for 3. Me'ot, which is 100, dinar. And we know dinar is a currency, right? For what reason not was sold the concoction for 300 dinar? Then we have the nitan, and given. And then we have la-aniyim, meaning to, and aniyim is the poor in the plural sense. Right? And given to the poor. Then we have a vav, which has a value of 6, and we have the who and he. Lo, not, di, bear, spoke. Zot, this, me, chem, lato, mechem, lato, from his compassion. Al, concerning, ha-aniyim, the poor, ki for, ganav, a thief, ha-ya, he was. Remembering that it's he if there's no pronoun. And he not spoke this from his compassion concerning the poor, for a thief he was. Right, now we come to the second part of that, the keys, which means, and the pouch, you could say the pouch of ha-kesef, of the silver, because we know kesef means silver, of the silver, be-yado, which is in his hand. Right? We know the bet is in and yad is hand, in his hand. The nasa, and carried or lifted. They translate it as took, right? And I guess you could say, and lifted out, right? Lifted out or lifted up, right? Me'a share, from which yasimu, they did place, because we know sim means place. Vo, in it. And the pouch of the silver in his hand, and he lifted or took, from which they did place in it. And then we have a Zion, which has a value of 7. And then we have Vayomer, and he said, Yahushua, ha-necha, la, ha-necha, which is leave alone her. The la could be said to her, you could say. And then le yom, for the day, kevurati, which is of my burial, because we know kavar can be as a noun, a tomb, or as a verb, a burial as well, to bury. Of my burial, Zafna, she has hidden. And again, the hey is she. It's a lachfan is to hide. She has hidden zot, this. So the translation, and he said, Yahushua, leave alone her. For the day of my burial she has hidden this. And then we come to chet, which has a value of 8, and it is ki, for ha'aniyim, for the poor, tamid, meaning always, constantly, right? Imakem, which means with, and kem is you. Va'ani, and I am, eineni, not I, tamid, always, imakem, with you. For the poor, in the plural sense, always with you. And I am not I always with you. And then we have a tet, which has a value of 9. Vayishme'u, vayishme'u, which means, and they heard, because we see we've got Shema in the middle there. And they heard, because this is a pronoun. Amrav, which is many people, because Rav is many, is people. So it's people many, or many people. Be Yehuda, in Yehuda, ki, for, who, he, sham, you could say was there, vayavo'u, and they came, lo, not, va'avur, not on account, because we know avur, it can be, but avur can be on account, not on account. So let's see the translation. And they heard many people in Yehuda that he, you could say, was there, and they came not on account. And then it is Yahushua levado, him alone, ki, for, gam, also, lirot, to see, et, grammar marker, Elazar, Lazarus, asher, whom, he'iro, he woke up. I'm giving you the literal translations there. Yahushua, him alone, but also to see, grammar marker, Elazar, whom he woke up. Of course, it naturally says in the English, rose from the dead or so. But it tells us that anyway. He woke up, me'im, meaning from with, ha-metim, meaning the dead. From with the dead. And again, it's got the plural ending of it. So dead is not singular, it's plural. And then we come to Yod, which has a value of 10. And it is the Rashay, and the heads. Ha-kohanim, of the priests. Hit ya'atsu, they took counsel. La-ha-rog, to kill, or for the killing, because it has the that dot above it, so we'll say for the killing, et Elazar, for the killing of grammar marker Elazar, because he was a great testimony of who Yeshua was. And the heads of the priests, they took counsel for the killing of Elazar. And we have a Yod, value of 10, and a Aleph, value of 1, so we're in verse 11 now, and it is Ki, which is 4, Vig la lo, because of him, Ba'u, they came. Shema, there. Rabim, many. Men, from. Ha-Yehudim, the Yehudim, the Jews. Va-Ya'aminu, and they believed. For because of him, they came there, many, from the Yehudim, and they believed. Be-Yahushua, meaning in Yahushua. In Yahushua. And then we come to Yod, value of 10, Vayet, value of 2. We're in verse 12 now. And it is Vehi, and it was Mi-ma-charat, from the morrow. Machar, right? So it means the next day or the morrow. From the morrow. Kishmoa, which is when hearing or like hearing, because we see we've got Shema in there. Ha-min, which is the crowd. Oh, sorry, Hamon, that's Hamon, the crowd. Rav, many. Asher, whom. Ba'u, they came. La chog, to celebrate. He chag, the feast. We see there's same word. It's got chag is there and chog is there. So this is like a participle, meaning for celebration of the feast. Right, and it was from the morrow, when hearing the crowd, the great crowd, whom they came to celebrate the feast. And then we have ki, for, Yavo, was coming, because it's got again that cholam up there. Yahushua, Yerushalayim. Now, the hey at the end is a directional hey to Yerushalayim. Or Yerushalayim. And then it says that he was coming, Yahushua, to Yerushalayim. So the crowd was thinking he was coming, right? Yod 10, Gimel 3. We're in 13. Vayikchu, and we know that kach means to take, yikach, and they took the yadam in their hands, kapot, meaning branches, temarim, of palm trees. That's probably where the tamarim trees, their original name is. So palm trees, vayetsu, and they went out, because yatsa means to go out, and they went out. Likrato, to meet him. When we know kara means to call, but where there's a tav at the end, we find it means to greet, to meet him, and that's him. Va-ya-ri-u, and they cheered, shouted, cheering, right? And they cheered. And they took in their hands branches of palm trees, and they went out to meet him, and they cheered. And now we get lemor, which is saying, Hosanna, which means save please, or it can mean save now. Baruch, blessed. Haba, meaning the one coming. The one coming, or he who comes, because there's no pronoun, so we can add a he. He coming, or he who comes, Bashem, in the name Yahuwah, Yahuwah, or Yahweh, Melech, meaning king, Yisrael, king of Israel, saying, Hosanna, save, please, or now, blessed is he who comes in the name of Yahweh, king of Israel. And then we have a Yod 10, Dalet 4, we're in 14, Vayimsa, and he found Yahushua a year means a donkey, echad meaning one, va'yir kav, and rode alev upon him, or it, because it's a donkey, katuv, that's like, and this is the writing, or written, like written. And he found Yahushua a donkey foal, one, and rode upon it like written. Then we have a Tet 9, Avav 6, 9 and 6 is 15, and it is Al Tir-E, do not fear, and that's like a second person. Tiri, because we could say Yara is to fear, but in this case, because of the Tav, it's like a second person feminine. Not you fear, but, now we see why it's a feminine, because but means daughter of Zion, of Zion. Hine, behold, Malkek, your king, because the kaf at the end is you, right? Your, and Malak is king, right? Your king, Malkek, Yavo, shall come, luck to you. Do not fear, daughter of Zion. Behold, your king shall come to you. Rokev, meaning riding, because again it's got a cholam there which is riding. Al, upon, a year upon a foal. Ben, meaning son, to note, and that actually means a female donkey, or donkeys, female donkeys, riding upon a foal of female donkeys, the son of female donkeys. Just interesting how it's so specific. And now we have Tet 9, Zion 7. 9 and 7 is 16. And then we have the Talmidav and his disciples, lo not he vinu, which of course is they understood. Rishona, at the first, or we see Rishon as being the first, in the first. kal, all zot this. Ak, but, acharei, after. And his disciples, not they understood at the first, all this, but after. Asher, when, or that, nit pa'ar, which was glorified, Yahushua, zakru, they remembered. We know that zakar means to remember, right? They remembered. Ki, for, ken, so. For so, katuv, written, alayv, concerning him, the ken, and so. When was glorified Yahushua, they remembered, for so written about him, and so gum also asu, they have done. Because we know that asa means to do, right? They, and that's they did, you could say, lo, to him. Also they had done to him. And we get 17, which is a yod, and Zion, 17. Vaya idu, meaning, and they witnessed, because we know that id means witness. And they witnessed. It's a past tense because you've got two of these prefixes, which makes it with the yod, it's a future. With the vav in front of it, it makes it a completed action, a past tense. And they witnessed ha-rabim, which is many, the many you could say. Ashir, that, ha-you, they were. Etzlo, which is close to him, because it's got etzel in there, which can mean by or close. But karo, in his calling, because kara is calling, in his calling, El Azar. So many of course believe, because they were standing near him when he called out at Elazar or Lazarus. And they witnessed many that they were close to him in his calling to Elazar. La set, to exit, la set. Min, from. Ha kaver, meaning the tomb. Vayar, and awakened, oto, him, me'im, from with, ha-matim, the dead. Of course, when we look down here, we know that yatsa is to go out, so, or exit, right? So with the lamed, it drops the yod, and then it comes for exiting or to exit, right? And then the translation, to exit from the tomb, and awakened him from with the dead. And that brings us to the conclusion of that. And hopefully, as we went through it, if you've been practicing your Hebrew, some of those words, or many of them, you should have been able to see. But if there's any issues with any of them, you just go back to the former teachings where I go into more detail in each verse. And this is simply revisions. So, again, as a revision, we have our vowel marking. So, we remembered that the dot above is called a cholam, so therefore it gives it the O sound. The shiva is a break in the word, a syllable change. So that's what a shiva is, and it can be silent or vocal. And when it's vocal, it's often like a shit, a short E sound. And then we have a segol, so it has the E sound. And this is a longer E sound. Zere. Often translated in the transliteration to be EI, but probably EY is better. So it's but it's simply a longer E sound. Zere. Then we have a patak, so it gives you the short A sound. And then we have kamat, a longer A sound. Okay, and of course you do have also the shuruk, which is the dot next to it, giving you the U sound, and this also gives you the U sound. It's called a kubutz. And then it's a combination here, a segel with a shiva. It's called a kataf segol. And this is called a chirik. Chi, that's the sound it makes. And kata, patach, kataf patach. Again, it's like a syllable ending and beginning, which is a short A sound. And there's a long A sound again with a shiva next to it called a kataf kamat. Okay. And of course, these are the number counting and the resources, which we went through from 1 to 17. If you can work out how the counting goes right up to 9 and then 10. And then, of course, we have 11, which you noticed was tricky. So try to remember those different countings as we go along. It gets easier as we do it more, and these are your resources. So we just like to thank you, and we hope that these revisions too are a blessing if you're going through the other lessons. And we just want to wish you a Shavua Tov, a good week unto you. Amen.